Yo, what's good? NBA YouTube. It's your man 100 Grand Russ with The Rock Never Stops, coming to you with another episode of NBA Talk. And tonight, I want to dive in to these New Orleans freaking Pelicans. I told y'all about them. I said they were going to figure it out. I said that they were going to be a force to be reckoned with. And after them blowing out the Utah Jazz, this was a statement game. This was a statement game. And so we're going to dive into that in this episode. Smash that like button for me if you enjoyed the video. Hit subscribe and the bell for notification. Let's be clear. Not every all-star level player makes the all-star game. I'll say that again. Not every all-star level player is going to make the all-star game. And so a lot of times when you see guys that are actually really elite, meaning best of the best, top 10 in their position, maybe top 5 in their position, or at least competitively so against those in that range. Despite not making not the playoffs, but the All-Star game, these individuals oftentimes are not going to get recognized for just how much talent they have. But it doesn't negate that they're talented, that they are extremely talented. And if you go to just about any team that's competing to get into the playoffs and somebody tells you, yo, they've got 2 all-star level players on that team, and maybe one guy who's a fringe, not even, I would say, an all-star, but he's a really good player, maybe top 15 at his position, you would pretty much think they got a good chance in the playoffs. Now, if you also add to that they have a transcendent talent who could potentially be the face of the NBA, who hasn't returned yet, adding to that team, you'd probably think all the more of this roster. You'd probably be like, yo, this team might be something special to look out for. Well, unfortunately, this team is playing in a smaller market that hasn't had a lot of sustained success, that has allowed people to really start giving them the attention and the props that they're due. And so right now, a lot of teams and a lot of just media and fans are completely overlooking these New Orleans Pelicans, coached by head coach Willie Green, who has really sought to put his imprint on this team in terms of having a defensive identity, playing together, trusting one another, and having fun doing so. This team was already a fringe playing team before the CJ McCollum trade. Now, let's be clear. CJ McCollum is not just a veteran. He's a veteran who has been elite at his position for the majority of his career. Playoffs, he's been a bad dude who's gone head to head with some of the best teams out there. It's hard to forget that quadruple overtime against the Denver Nuggets, where he carried the Portland Trail Blazers for much of that game, hitting big shot after big shot throughout those overtimes. And he was added to this roster. And I said, when I saw that, I said, he might end up unlocking this roster. Because with 2 legitimate perimeter playmakers who can score at an elite level and make the game easy for everybody else, this could take this team to the other level. Granted, they already had a Jonas Valanciunas, who is that fringe all-star player, Domantas Sabonis type level, right? Who is now falling into place, similar to how Nikola Vucevic in Chicago fell into place once DeMar DeRozan arrived. He doesn't have to be the number 2 option for a fringe playing team. He could be a number 3 option for a solidified playoff team that has a chance to make a run. And what you see here is everyone else falling in line. You got Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, who's slowly getting reintegrated after his injury. You got guys like Jackson Hayes, Najee Marshall. You got guys like Devontae Graham. And once again, you also got guys like, what's his name? Hernan Gomez, right? You got guys who normally get completely overlooked because when they're asked to do more, they don't look good. Because it's more than what their talent allows them to do. But you add in another all-star level player with CJ McCollum, combined with Brandon Ingram. Now all of a sudden their job becomes real easy. You play hard defense, you get out in transition, you make your rotations, you're in the right place in the offensive sets, and you get wide open looks. You get to eat feasting off of the fourth best defender to get easy looks at the basket. And now all of a sudden, this team is rolling. This team is rolling. Brandon Ingram is not asked to do everything. He's actually asked to play what he's best at, which is being an elite level scorer who can eat up any defense. And against Utah tonight, we saw that in spades. Utah had absolutely no answer for CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram. Those two ability to make plays from the perimeter with their athleticism, their ball handling ability, footwork, and shot making ability was more than what they could handle. Utah only had one guy who could do something like that with Donovan Mitchell. And because they could hit from the mid-range, it put Rudy Gobert in no man's land. He was protecting the rim, but they didn't go to the rim. And he's not going to guard on the three-point line. And so that little 10 to 18 footer was open all night. And they executed and they performed play after play, blowing them out the water. Now, in a playoff series, might it be a little tighter? Yes. But they've got guys who've been there before. And when you have guys who've been there before, you're going to have a little bit more trust. You're going to have a little bit more confidence in being able to continue this success into that playoff series. Now, if I'm Zion Williamson, I'm looking to get my butt back as soon as possible because this is the type of team that you can make a huge run with. That you could go from a playoff level team to a contender overnight and shock some people. A healthy Zion Williamson, let me be clear, a healthy Zion Williamson on this team is a title contender. But I want to know what you all think. You think this team can make a run in the playoffs without Zion? If so, how far? And with Zion, how far do you think they go? Once again, this is The Rock Never Stops. Check me out on Twitter, and I'm going to holler at y'all next time. Peace.